Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are going to unpack the absolutely fascinating stories hidden within Princess Diana's legendary jewelry collection. Now, we're all used to seeing these stunning pieces in photographs, right? Flashing under the world's spotlights. But beyond the simple dazzle of all those diamonds and pearls, there is an incredible narrative just waiting to be discovered. These aren't just accessories. These pieces literally tell the story of her life.
But before we get into the specific gems, we really have to ask ourselves how these physical objects carry on her memory today. Think about it. When you're the most photographed woman in the entire world, every single choice you make is scrutinized, and jewelry is definitely no exception. So what is the afterlife of a collection like this? How does it transition from the personal property of a global icon to a living legacy for the royal family?
Well, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, Beyond the Crown Jewels. Then we'll move into 2, Tiaras of a Princess. Track her journey in 3, Rings of Transformation. Look at 4, iconic chokers and necklaces. And finally, we'll discuss number 5, the next generation.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, Beyond the Crown Jewels.
You know, Diana's jewelry box was this incredibly dynamic mix. We're talking ancient royal history, aristocratic family ties, and her own surprisingly accessible fashion choices. Sure, she had access to over 300 items loaned from Queen Elizabeth II for those big formal banquets. But she also brought incredible historical pieces from the Spencer family line. And she received lavish diplomatic gifts, like that famous Sapphire suite from Saudi Arabia. But crucially, she just loved going out and buying her own pieces. This included costume jewelry from London stores like Butler and Wilson. And get this, what's truly amusing is that the media often reported her costume jewelry as priceless. It's hilarious. They would photograph her wearing this dazzling star or a snake piece, and they'd assume it was some royal treasure of immense, incalculable value, when in reality, it was just a fun, accessible piece she picked up on the high street. It just goes to show she had a really great sense of humor about her own image.
Moving right along to section 2, Tiaras of a Princess.
Let's compare two absolute stunners when it comes to headpieces. One is a symbol of the monarchy she married into, and the other represents the powerful aristocratic family she came from. So the lover's knot tiara was a loan from the queen, famous for its 19 swinging pearls. Fun fact, Diana actually complained about those swinging pearls, though she wore the piece all the time. But on the flip side, we have the Spencer family tiara. Now, this is a family heirloom pieced together over centuries, featuring these gorgeous floral diamond motifs. Her brother, Charles Spencer, actually noted that because she wasn't quite used to wearing it for long periods, it famously gave her a, quote, cracking headache.
But you know what? Despite the headaches it gave her choice to wear the Spencer tiara over a royal loan sent a super powerful message of independence on her wedding day. The queen had actually offered her the lover's knot for the 1981 wedding, but Diana passed on it. She decided to stick to her roots. It was an early telling indicator that she was going to do things her own way.
Section 3, Rings of Transformation.
Let's track the timeline of literally the world's most famous sapphire engagement ring. Back in 1981, her choice was highly unconventional. It wasn't some unique, locked-away custom piece. It was actually a ring featured right in the Garrard catalog, meaning anyone could buy it. Following her divorce in 1996, she actually kept wearing the ring for a time. But ultimately, its legacy was forever cemented in 2010, when Prince William used it to propose to Kate Middleton.
Listen to this, a way of making sure my mother didn't miss out on today and the excitement. That quote from Prince William just beautifully anchors the sheer emotional weight of that 12-karat oval Ceylon sapphire. He transformed what some people once viewed as a tragic symbol of a failed marriage into a profound emblem of enduring familial love. And talk about a striking symbolic contrast here. We've got the sapphire of her royal marriage versus the bold aquamarine she commissioned to signal her new, independent life. After her divorce, she wanted a replacement for her engagement ring, so she got this emerald-cut aquamarine stone, which was gifted by a dear friend, and she had it set in 24-karat yellow gold by Asprey. She famously wore it to the 1997 Christie's auction of her clothes. It was just a remarkably bold, modern piece for a newly liberated woman.
I absolutely love this detail about the Twy and Moist style ring she wore. It really showcases the varied, deeply personal gifts she received during her marriage. This ring, featuring a gorgeous emerald cabochon and a diamond set at an angle, was a gift from Charles for their very first Christmas together as a married couple. Translating to you and me, it's just such a touching, intimate piece in her broader, spectacular collection. All right, Section 4, Iconic Chokers and Necklaces. Okay, this step-by-step transformation completely shows off Diana's brilliant eye for jewelry design. She literally turned a traditional brooch into her daring signature statement piece. Originally, she received it as a brooch from the Queen Mother as a wedding present. But Diana, ever the fashion visionary, converted it into the stunning clasp of a massive 7-strand pearl choker. It's the exact piece she wore to the White House to dance with John Travolta, and, of course, she paired it with her legendary revenge dress in 1994. To truly wrap your head around the sheer scale of these pieces, consider this. The diamond and pearl swan-like necklace she wore shortly before her death was later estimated to be worth a staggering $12 million. $12 million. Created by Gerard and made up of 187 diamonds and 5 South Sea pearls, she wore it to the Royal Albert Hall just 2 months before her passing. But what's truly amazing here is how her necklaces ranged from a simple teenager's initial all the way to grand royal loans, perfectly mirroring the different eras of her multifaceted life. As a teen, she wore a simple sterling silver D. As a young mother, Charles gave her a gold pendant engraved with baby William's name. As a global royal icon, she wore a stunning 4-row Japanese pearl choker. But honestly, perhaps the most moving is her era as a philanthropist. She was known to purposefully wear chunky gold jewelry like a long gold cross, specifically so children at AIDS hospices and abandoned youth centers could play with it while she held them. Isn't that incredible?
And finally, Section 5, the next generation. It is so fascinating to map out exactly how Diana's jewelry box has been distributed to her daughters-in-law and her granddaughter. Kate Middleton wears the famous sapphire engagement ring, as well as the lover's knot tiara and Collinwood pearl earrings. Meghan Markle famously debuted the post-divorce aquamarine ring at her wedding reception, and she wears Diana's Cartier Tank Française watch. And the young Princess Charlotte? Well, she has some highly significant historical pieces waiting for her. Because, speaking of Princess Charlotte, William and Diana's brother have reportedly agreed that she will eventually wear the very tiara her grandmother made globally famous. Since Charlotte is Diana's eldest granddaughter, the Spencer family and Prince William have set aside the iconic Spencer family tiara specifically for her, continuing the long tradition of the women in the Spencer line wearing it. So, while the monetary value of her jewelry fluctuated wildly, the emotional value was simply immeasurable. Look at the spread here. Her teenage silver D necklace sold at auction for $8,000. The Bulgari yellow gold band she wore on her right hand at the time of her death was a relatively modest 3,000-pound friendship ring from Dodi Fayed. And this sits in stark contrast to the multi-million-dollar royal loans that were returned to the vault. It just proves that to Diana, a piece's true worth was entirely about the sentiment behind it. Which leaves us with this final thought. Every time Kate, Meghan, and eventually Charlotte step out in these pieces, they are wearing literal history. But as the monarchy continues to modernize, how will the next generation reinterpret these storied gems to tell their own stories? One thing is for sure, it ensures the people's princess is never truly gone, maintaining her profound connection to the world and her family, one spectacular gem at a time.